Hey guys, what's up? This is Cyclonic here, bringing you guys design critiques for the 2K community, episode 3. Been getting a lot of good feedback on Twitter. Really appreciate that. So we're just gonna keep it rocking, keep it going. So first header here. Just as a reminder, all of these will be timestamped in the descriptions. You can go and see individual pieces where they start and what my feedback for them is. So first off, we're gonna start off with a header for Tactic, made by Benjo. So here there's a couple things that kind of grab my attention first. There's a lot of red on this header, and there's a lot of really bright white. This it just overpowered me too much with how much like bright red and bright white there was. I definitely make some of these red areas over here where it's like solid red a lot darker. I think that would really help contrast it better, because right now it's overpowering to the point where I'm not even looking at tactic anymore. I'm just looking at the red and the white, and that's never a great sign. And then these down here I think are way too hard to read. I think this is just his name you put there, but I'd make that larger and make both of these larger, honestly. Then I don't the outline idea is nice. Like, I've used it a lot. I've used it plenty of times, but I don't necessarily see the reason in just putting part of it like this there. At that point, I'd almost just make this smaller and put it in this area and be done with it that way. I would think that would make more sense, and I think that way also you wouldn't be covering up his face over here. 'Cause I have no idea, these people aren't him, so you don't want to, have him in the background and then be covering him. I think this is him right here. This stuff is fine. The patterning looks okay. It's just weird because I think what's really getting me too is that I don't particularly see a light source. It just seems like a lot of red glow everywhere, and it doesn't make much sense as to where the glow is coming from. So I would take a look at that, maybe even use like a color lookup thing and slightly tint it so that the blacker areas are more blue. Then we give it a little crisper feel and tone down the brightness a bit. So definitely a bunch of things I think to. I like the text effect though. I see this coloration here. I just think it's way too bright. And then add on a flare over here. It's just way too bright right now for that. So it's a good start, but I think there's definitely a lot of things you could fix up in this to make this a much better, cleaner header. All right, next one here is by Loading. This is a header for Luck DF. So I'm going to start off with something small here. I can barely read what this says, and the only reason I know what it says is because I'm aware of, of the DF clan. This over here, this was somewhat maybe readable. This is just not readable at all unless you know what you're looking for. And no one can see these thin white outlines on top of this. It's not going to work out well. I would have used a much thinner font that had more separation between the letters and not put it right next to his hand. Put it right down here, if anything. If you have to, do that. This is a nice idea over here, and the players are edited fine. But I just don't like the clashing the clashing foreground stuff here. I would have made this picture a backing, and then instead of covering the text over here, made this guy smaller and put him over here more. I think that would have created the look you were going for. This isn't bad, but something out over here is confusing me a bit. And maybe you could throw some like patterning over here, just make this seem a little less empty. The last thing is this luck text is it's dark, and you're also in a dark background. I understand you have the bottom like the, I guess, the 3D text, the backing is lighter, but I think the text would really pop nicely if you added in like an inner glow or almost like an inner white stroke on this text at the top. And I think that would really make the text pop well, and you can even duplicate and put the lining over the hand if you wanted to. But I do like the pen, like the text itself. I like the whole composition of it. I think there's some things you could fix with the overall execution. If anything, maybe even make this background player over here black and white, and that way you're still focusing on him, but you have this nice, you know, bigger picture background effect. You can even like a dramatic cinematic effect. Then maybe throw in a couple particles here and there to make it a really complete header. So yeah, but a good header nonetheless. A good header nonetheless. All right, so we have this next thumbnail here by Vela. So there's not much text on here. I guess you don't necessarily need text if the title of the video has it. It's a nice kind of, the coloring is nice, the execution is there, you have some shadowing and that kind of stuff. Now, what confuses me a little bit, if we're talking about pure lighting stuff, I don't necessarily know that the back of his thing right here would be that lit, since the lighting is coming, the main lighting seems to be coming from behind. I don't see how this is so well lit up right here. That doesn't make much sense to me, but that's a more nitpicky thing. Overall, this is the main portion of what I need to be seeing. All of this stuff is empty noise. No one's going to be seeing that. No one's really going to be seeing this, to be honest. This is so light. This needs to be a lot bigger. Is the main point of the thumbnail, I'd be assuming. It needs to fill up like this sort of area that my mouse is tracing out, not this smaller area, because if I look at it, if I'm just scrolling through YouTube and I look at it, the chance of me actually understanding what's going on here are slim to none. So it looks nice when you blow it up as a Twitter image, because it'll show, you know, it'll show on Twitter, people will click on it and stuff like that. But when it's a YouTube video and the thumbnails are much smaller, the concept here is well executed but not well intended. That's my main sort of feedback there. But and then even when you increase the sizing, putting some other brighter stuff or like text or something would really make this thumbnail pop to me. So that's all my feedback on that. Now, I also got a couple video submissions for this one from a couple of Eyeball members. This one is by Dane. I'm going to just start it from the beginning and play it through maybe a couple times. Alright, so first thing I note here is this, it'll go to the reel and then you'll see this. If this is like the screen itself and that it's animated, I would have loved it if it was a concept of like, you know, just this thing, this on the, like this neon lighting, excuse me, neon sign on a brick wall. But now you have the wall moving behind it, and that completely throws off the kind of fit that I was envisioning. It would have been much better if you really went full force for like the neon signage on a brick wall, maybe some lighting up top here, and then this thing flashing, rather than just moving around on a brick background. I think that you have a lot of potential there, and you wasted it by just not by making the background move. It just threw everything off for me. Maybe now think, okay, you just put a stock thing in the background, and then it's just this animation stuff. It doesn't fit a concept to me, and I think that's really important. Then let's see. All right, so here, these are the alerts. These are the panels. I think that's the main stuff here, and then this is the webcam. I think that's basically all there is to be. Okay, so my biggest complaint here is that I can barely tell what these say. The cursive is extremely tough to read, and I'm only able to see and like understand some of them because I know what they probably are saying. I can tell this one's probably donation. Don't know what that one is. Follower and subscription. And then over here, so like the point is that needs to be a lot more readable. Even at this smaller size, it needs to be a lot more readable. Over here on the webcam, there's a lot of pink scribbling and it's overwhelming me, honestly. I don't think there needs to be this much coiling and stuff around here. Especially you're cluttering up the logo. I didn't even see the logo until I really took a deeper look at the webcam. it got lost in everything else. So I would definitely remove it from over here, remove the coiling from over here. Maybe make some of the coiling white, maybe make his logo white instead. But something got changed, space this out a little bit more, like these spots for the donation and the followers, move it, or subscription, move it down a little bit. Then that would help. The coiling idea in general is nice, it's just way overdone in my opinion for that, and especially when this goes to a smaller size, I think it's going to overwhelm it too much. Let me actually see what the animation for the panel looks like. Now, what I think would have been dope here is you just have it kind of like fading in all at once over here. If you manage to get the scribble to kind of show up like that and like show up in order, I think that would have been really dope, and that would have been a killer alert there. But everything else, like the neon concept, I like the colors, I like and stuff. There's just some execution elements that I think would really take the pack to the next level as far as that goes. Alright, and then the last one is from Alpha, and he just wanted me to critique this starting screen right here. So as you know, Alpha, your like the actual animation stuff you do tends to be pretty good. It's just the actual graphics execution that could be better. So my first thought here is, wow, there's a lot of bronze / gold, and even worse, the stuff that should be the most readable here is very dark. So I would have made this text white over here. So you want to create some differential between this gold and whatever these texts are. So I would have made them white instead, and then that way you'll have some color flow. You go white, gold, white and gold, white and gold, and that would create the color flow you need to connect each of the elements. But this color especially just seems very awkward over here to use. It wouldn't even have been that bad if you used that color for the icons and then made this the normal gold, but this color is just too dark in general. I would have definitely used white. Let me see. Maybe animation wise, I wouldn't have had this all animating in at once. Maybe put this stuff in to start and then let the socials play out. Because there's just too much stuff to keep a track of, and at least that way, some of the middle portion of the screen, you take up a little bit more time with that. You don't have to just fill it with light sweeps all the time. I like the Cavs logo moving in the background. That's cool. The coloring is nice there. It's like, almost like it's behind a glass screen, and I really like that. So job well done on that. The actual geometry, I mean, it's nothing mind-blowing, but it's a solid geometry there. That looks fine for an esports type template. Maybe if you're gonna add the Cavs logo, also maybe add a 2K League logo. That might help things. But yeah, still a job well done on the animation for this and all that. So with that being said, appreciate everyone tuning in. Hopefully this video helped you guys. As a reminder, these are always things that could just maybe be considered stylistic preferences of mine. Don't have to be listening to them, but I think it's important for designers to be, accepting all types of criticism and at least pass it through your head once, consider it, and then, whatever you do after that, based on your instinct, go for it and commit to it. So design episode 4 will be coming next weekend. Make sure to hit me up on Twitter if you want to get your design in for that. If you liked it, if this helped you, show love, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that being said, peace.